Hey guys, Brian back from the PT channel here to talk about some Walking Dead, some spoilers, some potential spoilers. As with anything that we post for spoilers wise, unless the episode has aired, of course, potential spoilers, they can change, they can final editing, final cut of the scene on there, or any episode parts can change. So don't hold us against that, but these would be some potential spoilers for the episode, season 6, episode 11, Knots Untie. So the synopsis online is that, Knots Untie, season 6, episode 11. After Rick comes to the realization that Alexandria might not be as safe as he thought, decisions must be made about where to go from here. Hence, the Hilltop Colony. And that is what we're talking about here. So, some sources we got, awesome sources. They haven't let us down yet, and we've seen a couple of different areas, so we've seen a couple of different. Let's get to it. Basically, you're not going to see any Carol, Morgan, any of the Alexandrians. Not too many of the role players, but you're going to see the big boys. You're going to see Rick, Abraham, Daryl, Glenn, Maggie, Michonne, like that. So basically, Jesus, we saw where we left them in the bed. They get up, they start talking to Jesus about, what the hell you doing here? What the hell's going on? He tells them about the Hilltop community. So he wants to establish, basically, the Hilltop community is a farming community. They have farmers, but they don't have many fighters. They can't really defend themselves. But the Alexandrians have medicine and a lot of weapons. So hence trading, Let's talk about some commerce. Let's go back to how this all started. Trades for goods and services. So that's what we got here. So basically, Alexandrians are running low on food, but they have a lot of weapons. So a group heads out with Jesus. You have Rick, Michonne, Glenn, Maggie, Daryl, and Abraham. On their way, they notice an overturned car by a gas station or a school or something. Jesus knows that's their car. They want to know what the hell's going on with that, because Jesus is a representative of the Hilltop community. He wants to make sure his people are okay. So they're not sure about it, but that's the trap. That's the promo that they're saying. They think it's a trap. They're not sure if it is. It's not going to end up well for you. This is what Rick says to them. They go inside. They check it out. They get there. They pick up 4 people alive. A couple other people, maybe a little less on there, but they're not sure. Again, after they kill some walkers, they make a big deal out of it. One of the guys mentions at the caravan that he's a doctor. He's actually a gynecologist. He finds out that Maggie's pregnant. Glenn doesn't really like this whole thing, talking about that whole area on there, because that's his wife. They eventually get to the Hilltop community. Awesome, right? Hilltop community, great place to check for the next continuation of the series. We're finally going to see it. Awesome. So they save some people. They get there. They go to the gang leader, which is Gregory. Gregory's this guy that's there. He's actually an asshole. He doesn't really want to deal with them. He tells them to clean themselves up before they talk. Rick ain't having it. He's tired of this piece of crap talking the way they're talking to him. He says Maggie handle it, because Maggie was with Deanna, so she knows how some diplomacy, some little political affair there, how to be a politician there. So let's work the deal. Get that Maggie's charm going a little bit. So Rick's already sick of him, tells Maggie, let's get this going for diplomacy. But Gregory's an asshole. He's a condescending there, and I think he's calling her Natalie or whatever and being disrespectful. There's no deal that's made. Later, they go another group. Rise of the Hilltop community that was out on patrol or whatever. Turns out they were captured by the Saviors. So hence the Saviors versus the Hilltop community, and now Rick's people too. So one of them, Ethan, answers that they were killed by Negan. They were captured by the Saviors, and he has a message from the Saviors. They let him go because to save his brother, they had to let him go to do that, but he had to deliver a message. What does he do? He stabs Gregory, the leader of the Hilltop community. A fight breaks out. Stuff happens. Abraham's almost choked to death. Everyone calms down, and Gregory's wounded but alive. So Jesus explains who the Saviors are. Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham are the only ones that know about these people. Daryl said, we got rid of these guys pretty easily before, so we could handle it. So recovering on the table, Gregory, or in the bed or whatever, Gregory talks with Maggie, and Maggie basically says, we can get rid of the Saviors, capture this guy, and let's have a communication, let's work together and get this done. Because the Alexandrians need food, but the Alexandrians and Rick's group can handle the Saviors, and that's what both groups need. So they choose to agree. There's another little subplot with it. There's a lot of Abraham in this episode, more so than usual in there, which is great because I love Abraham and Michael Cutlass. So he talks about his adrenaline addiction, PTSD, and whether he can really have a family after this in this crazy world. So he talks to Glenn and Maggie, the ultimate family people couple group in here too, who got together, got married, is going to have a baby now. Talk to them. Glenn and Maggie say, of course you can. You can have a child. It's great. Don't worry about the apocalypse. It's a great world out there, being, you know, optimistic there. But the episode, if you saw in the one trailer, actually is going to begin with Abraham and Sasha talking about, you know, a little flirting going on. And Abraham really wants to, you know, be with Sasha and see what's going on there, whether it's a one night fling or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. But Sasha shuts it down and says, look, we're not going to be on patrol together. Eugene's going to be your new partner on there too. I'm taking something else. So she's stepping away from Abraham because of the whole thing with maybe Rosita or whatever. Or maybe she just doesn't like Abraham and the craziness he is. I don't know. But either way, so Abraham's with Rosita. He's in bed. He can't stop thinking about Sasha and if it's right to settle down or whatever. Another big thing here is the episode ends with Maggie demanding something in the hilltop. She demands an ultrasound, which they have devices at the hilltop so they can provide that to show a picture of the baby to make sure that she's doing okay, to make sure that the baby, or he or she, we don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but in the comic, it's a boy. They name it Herschel Jr., so we'll see if they stick with that plot. And they have... And the group looks at the picture of the unborn child emotionally while driving back to Alexandria, and that's how it seems to end on there. There's not really any mix between Rick and Michonne. Rick talks to Carl a little bit about it. Carl seems fine with it, of course, because Michonne's been with the family the whole time, and she can trust them, and they have a good bond as well. Like I said, there's not going to be any Carol, Morgan, Tara, Eugene, Gabriel, or the Alexandrians. Denise has a funny scene with Daryl. Gives her a self-made cake as a traveling thing, and Daryl says, I hope it tastes better than it looks. It looks like shit. We'll see if that goes in the line. Daryl's got some good lines in there too, so hopefully that makes the cut for it. But those are some potential spoilers. We get to see the Hilltop community. It's going to be awesome to see that, and how it goes out with the Saviors versus Rick and the Hilltop people. So it's going to be a big battle coming up in the later episodes and in the season 7, of course, but this is the start of the whole Hilltop community, which is awesome. So I hope you guys liked the video, guys. Like, share, subscribe, check out all the videos. There's more to come, and as always, guys, we appreciate you checking this one out, and as always, thank you.